Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today virtually. I am Rachel Cookland, and I will be presenting with my colleagues Joshua Cooper and Madison Luna on our service learning project, partnering with the NVPTA to improve physical therapist and physical therapist assistant engagement. With our presentation being virtual, we wanted to give you the opportunity to associate our voices with our faces. This is myself, Rachel Cookland.
Hello, I'm Joshua Cooper.
Hello, I'm Madison Luna.
Thank you, Rachel and Madison. Now, I'd like to begin with some background information on the American Physical Therapy Association, which will be used interchangeably with the term APTA. The APTA is the professional organization which represents the profession of physical therapy and exists to promote the needs of society by advocating for access and availability of physical therapy services. This national level organization was founded in 1921 and represents more than 100,000 members across all 50 states and Washington, D.C. APTA Nevada, formerly known as the Nevada Physical Therapy Association, or NVPTA, is the Nevada state-level chapter of the APTA. APTA Nevada differs from the State Board for Nevada Physical Therapy in that the Nevada Physical Therapy Board is a government agency that works to, among other things, enforce rules and regulations about the practice of physical therapy in Nevada, assure minimum competency standards for physical therapists and physical therapy assistants, and investigate complaints against providers. Contrasted with the APTA Nevada Board, which focuses on, among other things, advocating for the profession of physical therapy at the state legislative level, hosting continuing education courses, and advocating for access to physical therapy services for Nevadans. These activities are functions of the professional organization and are therefore benefits of membership. In addition to legislative efforts at the state level and continuing education both in person and online, APTA Nevada also offers professional networking opportunities, access to specialty sections such as the orthopedic, neurological, or pelvic floor sections, and evidence-based practice programs such as clinical practice guidelines that are created and distributed by these specialty sections. Even with these and many more benefits to membership, the majority of licensed PTs and PTAs at both the state level and here in Nevada have opted to not become members. As previously stated, the goal of this service learning project was to partner with APTA Nevada to improve PT and PTA engagement in Nevada. We approached this goal using 5 aims, the first of which was to identify current membership trends in Nevada. This was done in order to give appropriate context to the need and direction of our other aims. The second aim of this project was to explore why membership levels are particularly low amongst physical therapy assistants. This decision was not only data-driven, but was specifically requested by the APTA Nevada Board. We want to be able to investigate why this incredibly valuable population is underrepresented at both the state and national levels, and how APTA Nevada can work to better address the needs of physical therapy assistants. For Aim 3, we look to identify broader themes and factors influencing APTA Nevada membership. This was approached through the use of an electronic survey, which my colleague Rachel Cookland will discuss in greater detail later in this presentation. For Aim 4, we worked closely with the APTA Nevada Board to assist in ventures they already had to improve membership, as well as to assist with new ones and to brainstorm other ideas for improving membership. I will discuss this in greater detail later in the presentation. And for our 5th and final aim, we wanted to critically reflect on experiential education. This self-reflection is a core component of service learning, and at the end of the presentation, each of the 3 of us will share our self-reflections in video format. Now for the first aim of this project, we required current trends of membership data. This information was retrieved from the State Board for Nevada Physical Therapy, as well as from the APTA Nevada Membership Chair, Carrie Gillis. This data was collected for 2017 and 2018. We attempted to collect 2019 data, but at the time of this presentation, the data was not available from the APTA. In this chart, in the leftmost column, are explanations of what the data represents, reading from top to bottom: percent of licensed PTs who are APTA members in Nevada, percent of licensed PTs who are APTA members in the United States, percent of licensed PTAs who are APTA members in Nevada, and in the bottom row, percent of PTAs who are APTA members in the United States. The next 2 columns represent the data from 2017 and 2018 respectively. In the rows of these columns, the percent of members is given with how we calculated the percent of members underneath. that being members divided by licensed clinicians. The last column represents the change, that is the percent change of members from 2017 to 2018 on top, with the total gain of members in parentheses underneath. With this, we can see that membership of PTs in Nevada increased from 38.9% in 2017 to 39.9% in 2018, for an increase of 1%. Meanwhile, membership of PTs in the APTA decreased from 30.5% in 2017 to 30.1% in 2018, for a loss of 0.4%. For PTA membership in Nevada, it held constant at 7.9% for 2017 and 2018, while PTA membership in the APTA decreased from 7.8% in 2017 to 7.6% in 2018, for a loss of 0.2%. This information helped to set the foundation for the need and value of this service learning project by showing significant room for improvement in membership for both PTs and PTAs in Nevada. I will now hand the floor over to Madison.
Thank you, Josh. I will now discuss Aim 2 of our project, exploring why membership levels are low amongst PTAs. Through our data collection, we found that both PTA clinicians and PTA students are underrepresented in the APTA Nevada and the APTA. As this pie chart demonstrates, in 2018, only 7.9% of the licensed PTAs in Nevada were members of APTA Nevada. To dive deeper into this and better understand why this may be the case, we dedicated the second aim of our project to exploring why membership levels are so low amongst PTAs. This was done through collaboration with the 3 PTA schools in Nevada, where the membership committee conducted focus groups with the PTA students. Students, rather than clinicians, were chosen as our primary focus for this aim, partially as a convenience sample, due to the large amount of PTA students available at one time, but also to provide early exposure and education on APT Nevada to the students, as they would eventually be early professionals. Early professionals is a population where APTA Nevada membership tends to decline. The APTA membership committee held these focus groups at each of Nevada's 3 PTA programs, Carrington College, the College of Southern Nevada, and Pima Medical Institute. Each focus group consisted of 1 current PTA class from that school. 29 students nearing the end of their first year represented Carrington College, 26 first-year students represented Pima Medical Institute, and 15 second-year students represented CSN. Rachel and myself served as mediators for these groups, in which 4 main open-ended questions were asked. Follow-up stimulator questions were then given to the students to continue further engagement and aid in deeper discussion. Josh and Carrie Gillis recorded the responses from the students to serve as qualitative data to be analyzed for trends later on. Participants in the focus groups had the opportunity to ask any additional questions they had at the end of each session, as well as offer any comments or suggestions for APTA Nevada. This slide lays out the 4 open-ended questions that were asked during the focus groups in the left-hand column. In the right-hand column are the common themes amongst all 3 PTA schools that were drawn from each question. The common themes were agreed upon by the 2 recorders, Josh and Carrie Gillis, using a color coding and numerical system. The common themes for each question are ordered by number, from most popular response to least. The first question asked was, what do you know about the Nevada Physical Therapy Association? The 3 PTA schools all were aware of some of the APTA's lobbying efforts, they knew of the monthly meetings, they understood the networking opportunities from the meetings, and they were familiar with the NVPTA listserv. However, it was seen that the listserv purpose was not well understood amongst the PTA students. The second question asked was, how have you been involved in the NVPTA? This question received the least responses, and the common theme drawn amongst the schools was that some had attended meetings in the past. The third question asked was, what are your hesitations about becoming a member of the APTA and NVPTA? The 3 schools agreed that time constraints, the topics of the meetings, and money were all implications on their membership. Although money was a consideration to membership, it was not a prohibitive factor. The final question asked was, do you have any suggestions about how the NVPTA can better serve your needs as PTA students and future clinicians? The common consensus was that an improved website that was easier to navigate would help them better find the information they required. After the 4th and final question, participants were offered the opportunity to ask any questions they had for the membership committee. One question that all 3 groups asked and was directed to the student members of the committee was, why are you a member of the NVPTA? This response, in combination with the responses gathered from all 4 questions, were the basis of the recommendations on the next slide to the APTA Nevada Board Directors. After holding these focus groups and analyzing our responses from the PTA students, our recommendations for the Nevada APTA Board was to have a joint coalition composed of student special interest group leadership, student corps ambassadors, and the membership committee go to each of the PTA schools in Nevada once a year to answer questions about APTA Nevada membership. The Student Special Interest Group should also begin monthly meetings with topics and workshops relevant to students, such as resume building and tips on resolving conflict with the CI. Practice job interviews with the APTA Nevada board members as interviewers should also be held to establish relationships among students and APTA Nevada leadership. Lastly, we recommend orienting some of the APTA Nevada meetings more towards PTAs and PTA students. Suggestions of this include having a PT and PTA team come and share about how they fostered a successful professional interdisciplinary relationship, or having a student and a CI share what they find valuable in their counterpart in a clinical situation. I will now hand it over to Rachel, who will discuss Aim 3 of our project.
First, I am going to talk about the methods of our third aim, which was to identify factors influencing APTA Nevada membership. We chose this as one of our aims because membership as a whole in Nevada is low, and we wanted to know why. In order to help us better understand why current members choose to stay members and what hesitations to becoming a member are, we created a short online survey via Qualtrics. This survey was created using similar questions to previous research performed in Texas and California, which used surveys to analyze attitudes and trends towards APTA membership in those states. This survey included questions regarding demographics, NVPTA membership status, and attitudes towards membership. 2 subsets of questions were created, and participants were directed to one or the other, depending on whether they selected that they are currently a member of APTA Nevada or not. This survey was then sent out to 732 licensed PTs and PTAs via an email list obtained from UNLV's Clinical Education Database, as well as to numerous licensed PTs and PTAs via the listserv, which is an electronic mailing list through the APTA Nevada. We had 153 responses total, but kept only 130 of them due to lack of completion. 94 of the respondents were APTA Nevada members and 36 were non-members. Before diving into some of the data, I wanted to talk a little bit about the format of the questions on the survey. Questions regarding reasons for membership or reasons for non-membership were created using a 5-point Likert scale, in which participants could choose agree, somewhat agree, neutral, somewhat disagree, or disagree. Participants were able to select answers for all of the questions, which is why the data in this graph equates to over 100%. All participants in the survey included only licensed clinicians. The graph shown on this slide represents answers to questions regarding reasons for membership by licensed PTs and PTAs. On the y-axis is the percent of respondents, and on the x-axis is the reason given for maintaining membership. The red bar represents percent of respondents who agreed with the statement, and the gray bar represents percent of respondents who somewhat agreed with the statement. Together, both bars represent the percent of respondents who agreed or somewhat agreed. We found that 53.9% of respondents are members because they value networking opportunities, 55.4% because they value discounted continuing education units and conferences, 75.9% because they value access to research, 91.3% because they value political lobbying efforts, and lastly, 95.5% because they have pride in the profession. The graph shown on this slide represents answers to questions regarding reasons for non-membership by licensed PTs and PTAs. It is set up similar to the previous graph, in which both bars together represent the percent of respondents who agreed or somewhat agreed with each statement. We found that 41.2% of respondents were unaware of the payment plan for membership, 61.8% of respondents would reconsider membership with improved communication on membership matters, 61.8% would reconsider if more continuing education was offered, 73.5% would reconsider if continuing education was offered at a lower cost, and lastly, 83.3% of respondents are not members because they feel the cost of national dues are too high. After looking at these trends, we came up with some specific recommendations that may help to improve membership in APTA Nevada. We are suggesting an updated website for easier navigation and with more regular updates on current news and events. Some specific recommendations include having a specific tab for legislative and lobbying updates and updating the volunteer tab to current opportunities with an updated email on who to contact. We also suggest increased social media presence for improved communication of current events and upcoming continuing education. We feel that it would be beneficial to send out a newsletter to all members twice a year regarding current events, administrative updates, and volunteer opportunities. These may be time-consuming tasks, and we're suggesting that these may be delegated to different committees. These suggestions may help to increase communication on membership matters and raise awareness of things such as payment plans for membership, lobbying efforts, free monthly continuing education, and other educational opportunities, which are all common themes we found in the survey. We are also suggesting to continue hosting a conference such as the Tri-State Conference annually or every 2 years if possible, since it seems as though both current members and non-members find value in educational opportunities as well as networking opportunities.
Thank you, Rachel. Now I would like to discuss further how we as the membership committee acted in collaboration with the APTA Nevada board. We were asked to support the Early Professionals Special Interest Group's first meeting in January of 2019 by helping to host the event at UNLV. We also created social media posts to increase awareness of the activities and benefits of membership of APTA Nevada. And finally, on Tuesday, May 5th, 2020, we formally presented the findings and recommendations from this project to the APTA Nevada board. Before we transition to AIM 5, we wanted to share with you an example social media post that was made in October of 2018 for PT Month. This post discusses the APTA Career Starter Dues Program, which is a membership fee reduction program designed to ease the financial burdens of new graduates during their first 4 years post-graduation. This program is available to all new graduates as long as they were members at the time of their graduation and they are 6 months or less post-graduation. This post was made by the membership committee and was posted to the official Instagram account of APTA Nevada. Now I will once again give the floor to my colleague Rachel.
Reflection was a key component of this project because it linked service with learning. This was an intentional consideration of our experience, in which we gained an enhanced understanding of our involvement with the APTA Nevada. On the following 3 slides will be myself, Josh, and Maddie sharing our personal reflections of this experience. At the beginning of PT school, I joined something called the APTA. Now, at the time, I didn't really know what I was joining, and I didn't really know why. Having the opportunity to serve the APTA Nevada was such a valuable experience because it taught me so much about what the organization is, and it also taught me what my own personal value in membership is. It taught me that holding membership isn't about what the organization can do for me, but truly it's about how I can give back to the profession that I believe in. This project taught me that volunteering for something that you believe in can make such a big impact, and it also taught me the importance of good communication. It showed me that communication can truly make or break somebody's perception of something based on the way the information is presented to them. I had the opportunity to share my own personal story through my journey through PT school, as well as my journey through figuring out what my own value in membership is with the PTAs during the PTA focus groups. It was at this point that I felt like I was able to make a personal connection with the students, and that point forward, everything I said had so much more meaning. This project taught me so much about professionalism, transparency, communication, and at the end of the day, I felt so much more connected to the organization that advocates for what I love to do.
So like Rachel, when I first came to PT school, I joined the APTA. That was just kind of what you did as a TPT student. And then when I was given the choice between more traditional research or service learning, I opted for service learning, because I thought it was a way to make a tangible change in a short amount of time than traditional research. But what I didn't expect is just the true depth of that change that we made. For example, our survey has data that can be used to fund the next several years worth of research and membership endeavors in order to help figure out how APTA Nevada can better address the needs of its members. And the focus groups with the PTA students was my favorite part of this service learning project. I enjoyed getting to collaborate with my future colleagues and to see how APTA Nevada can better serve them as future professionals as well. I also grew a deeper appreciation for the lobbying efforts of APTA Nevada here. I'm originally from Washington State, and there the scope of physical therapy is much more limited than here in Nevada, and that's in no small part thanks to APTA Nevada's tireless work to protect our true scope of practice. I plan to continue my membership in the APTA, whether here in Nevada or in Washington State, and I still plan on continuing to work with my colleagues Rachel and Madison in order to help APTA membership here in the Silver State.
So reflecting back on this whole project, I originally joined the APTA and Nevada APTA when I was in my first semester of PT school, like many of you guys. And I primarily joined because it was highly recommended. I really had no idea what the APTA was. But through this project, and I learned so much, and I've gotten to dive deeper into my own membership and kind of take a step back and understand why am I a member. I learned so much, and I'm still a member today because I believe in being a part of something bigger than just me. And I know the importance of every voice matters. and every voice makes a difference, especially in the situation we're living in today. I want to make sure I can be that voice for my patient, be that voice for my profession. So I look forward to continuing to be a member after graduation, continuing to serve on the membership committee, and making every member or future member they're considering membership, making sure they feel valued and it's an inclusive experience for all. In summary, we wanted to review the key points to take away from our project. First, PTAs are more underrepresented than PTs in the Nevada APTA. Second, we suggest hosting PT and PTA collaborative coalitions to help improve membership of PTAs. Third, updating the APTA Nevada website and sending a semi-annual newsletter may improve membership through improved communication. Fourth, improved education on valuable aspects of membership, such as free CEUs, and by hosting annual or biannual conferences, we may be able to improve membership. Finally, the service learning project positively impacted all of us and made Rachel, Josh, and myself value our own membership more. Lastly, we have a few acknowledgments we would like to make. First off, thank you Dr. Carrie Gillis, who was our advisor for the Service Learning Project. Thank you Dr. Daniel Young, and thank you the Nevada Physical Therapy Association Board. Without any of you, this project wouldn't be possible. Thank you.